Sneak Peekers, and happy Halloween!
This week in Hollywood, teenage girls were falling all over themselves Tuesday to get a copy of T Swift's new album, 1989, which broke projected year-long sales in the first 24 hours.
If you thought Freak Show couldn't get any better, Neil Patrick Harris and husband David Burtka are set to join the American Horror Story cast for final 3 episodes of the season.
Marvel fans everywhere rejoiced as they announced 9 new movies, including a new Doctor Strange, Captain America 3, and Black Panther to be released in the next 5 years.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy our sneak peek Halloween special. Welcome to Sneak Peek's favorite episode of the year,
our Halloween special.
We've got a lot of scary stuff in store for you tonight.
But up first, we have a little bit of a throwback to your childhood.
A haunted Halloween discussion of Harry Potter.
Take it away, Sydney and Ellen.
Hey Sneak Peekers, it's Sydney. As we all know, Halloween is tomorrow and some of us will be settling in with a bowl of candy and popcorn for a good old scary night. If you're not up for a scary movie challenge, but you still want to celebrate with witches, it might be a good idea to check out the new Harry Potter short story from J.K. Rowling. The story will be released tomorrow on the official Harry Potter fan site Pottermore and centers around one of the most despised villains of the series, Dolores Umbridge. Readers can expect a 1,700-word backstory on the evil professor, as well as personal reflections on the character from Rowling herself. This is the second short story that Rowling has published about her beloved characters, and is sure to be a great Halloween treat for all of you Harry Potter fans. Rowling has said before that her favorite holiday is Halloween. She celebrates with a party each year, and at Hogwarts they party hard too. The Wizarding School breaks out the pumpkin juice and multitudes of desserts that magically appear on the tables of the Great Hall. Pumpkins float above, decorating the ceiling of the feast. Something you may not have noticed before, though, is that many wizarding events in the series occur on Halloween. In the first installment, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, the feast is interrupted because of a troll in the dungeon. Harry and Ron go to save Hermione, who runs into the troll in the girls' bathroom, and the trio seal their friendship. The whole Harry Potter series is pretty much dependent on this scene. In the next 3 books, other significant events happen on October 31st. In Harry's second year at Hogwarts, Harry and his friends miss the school's festivities because the Chamber of Secrets has been opened and a terrifying creature is loose in the castle. The next year, in The Prisoner of Azkaban, the ruthless criminal Sirius Black breaks into Hogwarts, causing the students to sleep in the Great Hall while the teachers search for him. Lastly, in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Halloween is the date that the Goblet of Fire mysteriously spits out Harry's name to be entered in the Triwizard Tournament, and it sets up the rest of the perils Harry will face that year. All of these magical events occurring on the same date is no accident. As the series continues, readers find that the most significant Halloween event in the wizarding world is the murder of Harry's parents, James and Lily Potter, by Lord Voldemort. Ending the First Wizarding War, Voldemort was defeated and baby Harry received his infamous lightning bolt scar. Basically, this sets up the whole series, and in the same way, the troll in the dungeon, creating the friendship between Harry and Ron and Hermione, creates a bond that allows them to defeat Voldemort years later. Rowling does an amazing job of intertwining all these small details into the big picture, and it makes her universe so dense. The importance of October 31st in the Harry Potter world makes the holiday release of another Rowling short story that much more important to fans who crave even more Potter information. To access the story that keeps the wizarding world alive, all you have to do is log into Pottermore or create an account if you don't already have one. It will surely be a magical Halloween treat. Back to you guys.
Thanks for that.
Next up, we continue our spooky Halloween theme with Nightcrawler. Mwahahaha.
Wait, what are you doing? Nightcrawler's a crime thriller, not a horror movie.
Oops.
Well, here's our red carpet coverage of Nightcrawler with Jake Gyllenhaal. Take it away, Selena.
Hey Sneak Peekers, I'm Selena DePaz. Today we're at Fantastic Fest and we get to talk to the director of Nightcrawler. Let's go see what he has to say. The main character in this film jumps into the journalism world. Would you ever consider going into the journalism world yourself?
I was a journalist for Variety newspaper a while back. I was a reporter and a reviewer. And so I've always been interested in journalism. It's a very powerful force in our lives, the messages and the way stories are framed. So it's always interested me.
And what do you hope that the audience takes away from this film?
I hope the audience takes away a sense that they were engaged and entertained, first and foremost, and it raises thoughts and questions about the world that we live in and the choices we make, and how similar or dissimilar we may be to the character that Jake plays, Lou, and maybe at the end ask themselves why they're so engaged with this character. And we ask more questions than we give answers to, and that was always our intent.
I can't wait to see what kind of crazy stuff Jake Gyllenhaal gets up to in Nightcrawler.
I think I might skip trick-or-treating.
Skip trick-or-treating?
JK, I wouldn't skip trick-or-treating for anything, even a commercial break.
We'll be right back. I got scared there for a second.
It was just a commercial break.
Yeah, but this whole Halloween-themed episode is really scaring me.
Oh, please. Well, here's a non-Halloween themed movie review to keep you back from your scariness.
Thank goodness. Take it away, Shane.
There are no two words in the English language more harmful than good job. This sharp quote comes from Terrence Fletcher, played by J.K. Simmons in the film Whiplash. Fletcher is a conductor of the top jazz band at one of the top music conservatories in the country, and people want to be a part as a drummer in his band is just what freshman Andrew Neiman, played by Miles Teller, craves the most. Andrew comes from a family of underachievers, and it's his dream to be one of the greatest musicians of all time. Whiplash asks heavy questions like how far should you be pushed to do better, and can anyone truly have the stamina and resolve to achieve such greatness? The film opens with Andrew alone in a practice room, hammering away at a drum kit. Terrence Fletcher almost appears out of nowhere, with his all-black clothing and shiny bald head emanating towering ownership of whatever room he enters. He's overheard what Andrew's been practicing and wants him to play something for him. Fletcher seems relatively friendly enough, but in a few short seconds, his mind games on Andrew have already begun. He smoothly criticizes Andrew about his failure to listen to his instructions, belittling him in the process. As soon as Andrew actually begins playing, Fletcher slams the door and leaves, not satisfied with Andrew's skills. However, this is only the beginning. Through a series of events, Andrew gains a spot as an alternate to the drummer in Fletcher's jazz band. Fletcher reveals to be an absolute monster in the practice room, in the concert hall, using emotionally abusive and homophobic language to manipulate Andrew and the other jazz band members to his will, saying he's only doing it to push them and find someone who's truly capable of becoming one of the greats. An apt description that's been used to describe Whiplash is that it's a war film. Instruments and words are the weapons, with practice rooms and concert halls as the battlefield. You'd think a story about a college kid trying to be a jazz drummer would be a relatively breezy film, but Whiplash just might be the most intense film I've ever seen. Great big band jazz numbers appear throughout the film, with Fletcher conducting Caravan and the titular Whiplash. Out of context, these are toe-tapping tunes that are lively and very fun. However, with the constant menace of Fletcher threatening to go such length as to literally chunk a chair at Andrew's head, these tunes play out in a way that makes one feel horribly uneasy and drive you to the edge of the theater seat that used to feel quite comfortable when you initially sat in it. I never thought I'd be holding my breath, my heart racing with anxiety as snappy jazz music flowed into my ears. A film like this truly hinges on the lead performances, and boy, do Teller and Simmons deliver. I have to be honest, I've never been a Miles Teller fan. I personally found the characters he's played in previous films to be smug and obnoxious, forever smirking. My tune has changed, however, after seeing his great work in this film. Pale and determined, Teller gives a true breakout turn, showing a young man who is psychologically manipulated by his teacher to have a frightening drive to be the best. You feel his horrible emotions that well up whenever Terrence Fletcher lets loose on him with his strong language, and you take honest pity on him as he works so hard his hands literally devolve into a bloody mess on his sticks and drums as he practices well past the brink of exhaustion. As a viewer, I questioned if all the actual blood, sweat, and tears were worth it, but then I thought about the power and command Fletcher has over his students. J.K. Simmons has always been around in movies and television for quite some time. He's probably most notable as Juno's father in the film Juno and Tenzin on the Nickelodeon animated series The Legend of Korra. These roles, however, pale in comparison to his monstrous performance as Terrence Fletcher. It's hard to read Fletcher as a person emotionally. The way he manipulates Andrew is both horrifying and incredibly fascinating. Whenever Simmons enters a room, you cannot take your eyes off him, waiting to see what he's truly going to do. He really makes this film an absolute must-see. I will honestly not be shocked at all if Simmons wins the Oscar for supporting actor, let alone gets nominated. He easily gives one of the most powerful performances of 2014. Whiplash overall is a powerful, electric film that will draw much discussion with its audiences, with subject matter on hard work and the ethics of Fletcher's emotional abuse. I cannot recommend it enough. The only possible caution that I would have for this film would be that it might be too intense for some. I give it 4.5 out of 5 stars, with 2 astounding lead performances and masterful writing and directing from Damien Chazelle. Whiplash truly is a tour de force of jazz, blood, and ambition. I even got short of breath just writing this review. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Shane. Now back to more Halloween-y things.
You know, that segment reminded me of something scary.
Okay, what was it?
I can't talk about it. I just can't.
All right, well, you deal with your repressed issues. Here is our Halloween-themed Real Talk.
What's up, sneak peekers? My name's Regan, and right now we're at the SAC going to be checking out what all the UT students are going to be wearing this weekend for Halloween. And if you haven't noticed, I'm David Crockett. Let's check it out. Okay, do you want to tell me a little bit about what you have planned for Halloween weekend?
Yeah, sure. So I was planning on going as Uncle Sam and partnering with one of my friends who's a girl, and she's going to be a doctor, and then we're going to go as Uncle Sam and Obamacare.
I'm going to be a tree, and my boyfriend's going to be a lumberjack.
Okay, and why'd you decide to do this?
Because I ran out of time, and it looked really easy.
Tomorrow, me and my roommates are all dressing up as the Vodafone girls, like the Formula One ones, and we're gonna go downtown. And then Saturday, I'm gonna be a flight attendant, and I'm probably just gonna go to my friends' frat houses and stuff like that.
And what are your friends going to be? Do you know any?
My friend's going to be a tacky tourist, with the whole visor and fanny pack with #1 dad, and take pictures of people. And one friend's gonna be a sexy banana.
My his boyfriend's gonna be Peter Pan, so I'm really excited to see him in tights.
One of my friends is, he's a pothead, so he's putting a pot on his head. That's the coolest thing I found so far. And
What are you going to do? Are there any cool events?
I think we're going to party hop. I'm not really sure. I'll probably end up watching movies, but they'll go out.
We're heading down to San Marcos to party with some of our other friends, just have some fun.
It's my first time here in Austin to celebrate Halloween, so I'm kind of excited to go to 6th Street. I know everyone told me it's really full, but I'm looking forward a little bit to that.
Probably get some frat houses this weekend, but I have my costume. I'm kind of a computer science geek, so gonna write error 404, costume not found.
Is it gonna be naughty?
Well, yeah, maybe. I have thigh highs and heels, so yeah, it's gonna be a little promiscuous, but it'll be tasty and classy. Don't worry.
How do you think the reactions are gonna be?
We might get some dirty looks or just some laughs. I'm not sure yet.
And what do you think the hashtag's gonna be all about this weekend?
The hashtag? I don't know. Get turned up, I guess. That's every weekend, I guess. It doesn't change this weekend. Turn up.
I don't know, Halloween 2K14 or something. I have no idea. It's gonna be something like that, I guess.
I don't know. I'm not creative when it comes to hashtags. I usually steal other people's.
Hashtag, I don't know, going out on a Friday. I don't know.
Hashtag going out on a Friday. Okay. Halloween-wasted, probably.
I love those guys. I just want to chop them up and keep their heads in my pocket.
That is so creepy.
We'll be right back with more Sneak Peek. I'm really starting to get into the Halloween spirit.
Well, then you're going to love this next segment we have.
I hope it's not too scary. I'm still trying to get used to this craziness.
No promises. Now let's get to our top list of the week. Top 5 monster movies of the past 10 years by Alfredo and Blake.
Hey guys, this is Gambit Alfredo. Regular Alfredo has taken the night off. This Halloween, there will be many amazing monsters roaming around, and it got us thinking, what are some of the best monster movies ever? There's no better time than Halloween to talk about this. So let's do a countdown of the top 5 monster films of the past 10 years. Let's go. At number 5, we began with this year's Godzilla, which is no doubt an amazing display of special effects and action from second-time director Gareth Edwards. Our only problem is that it focuses too much on the human characters, and then we had to subject to the fact that Bryan Cranston, Heisenberg himself, is tossed away 30 minutes into the film. It may have been a great film if there were more interest on the action sequences as opposite to exposition overkill. But this film was entertaining nevertheless. And speaking of human characters, let's talk about our number 4 selection, Peter Jackson's King Kong. Once again, a masterful piece of visual style and design, and Andy Serkis does a tremendous job playing the eponymous eighth wonder of the world. I cannot say that the 3-hour runtime and Jack Black performance keep us on the edge of our seat the whole time. But I mean, come on, when will Jack Black ever be considered a serious actor? Okay, I will give you that one. And then there's the unbelievable performance from Carl Denham. This movie is one for the ages for us to rank below the 1933 original. The ending scene on the rooftop is pretty cool though. At number 3, we go foreign only with The Host. It's a South Korean film from 2006, directed by John Woo Bong, who also directed last year's Snowpiercer. For a underrated monster film, this is as good as it gets. You have a compelling and believable performance from the cast, and while there's a noticeable lack of action and violence in this film, the monsters all the more terrifying, filling this movie full of dread, making it all the more depressing. If you have time, go check it out. It's criminally underrated and unforgettable. You know what was also unforgettable? Pacific Rim, from director Guillermo del Toro. At number 2, it's basically rock them, sock them robots in real life, except that one of the robots is a river monster, and the world hangs in the balance, not your milk money. It is by far the most colorful movie of this countdown, thanks to its San Francisco setting. The acting may be a little off par compared to these other entries, but the action is so amazing that you would forget all about it, even with Idris Elba as the lead. Also, the voice of GLaDOS is in this. Yeah, that GLaDOS. And finally, we reach our number 1 with Cloverfield. This is a J.J. Abrams produced film. It's absolutely heart-pounding, probably from the fact that the entire film is shot in found footage style, swinging cameras, and motion sickness included. It was also somewhat of a tribute to Jaws because the monster was rarely seen throughout the film, which is amazing when it comes to keeping the suspense and the audience attention. In fact, many found footage and monster films post-2008, including Pacific Rim and Godzilla, are a result of this film's amazing impact on pop culture and word-of-mouth publicity. It is one amazing ride to hell and back, and an adventure that needed to be seen on screen, and that's why Cloverfield is our number 1 monster film of the past 10 years. That's it for this week's List of the Week. I'm Gabriel Alfredo, and if you excuse me, I'm gonna just play some Solitary off screen over there. Happy Kaiju.
I'm so ready to get spooky tomorrow.
There are so many movies to dress up as this year. Hunger Games, Transformers, Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'm sure we're gonna see a lot of people in morph suits.
Every year, those creepy morph suits.
Yeah, and Halloween is like so fun, but some people go crazy with the gory stuff.
And if there's any movie that explores the gore genre, it's ABC's Death 2.
Here's our red carpet coverage of ABC's of Death 2 with our very own Kim. Take it away.
Hey sneak peekers, this is Kim Carmona at Fantastic Fest to talk to the producers and directors for the ABCs of Death 2. Check it out. So what made you want to be part of this film?
I think jealousy at first. You know, it's like I think, I had a lot of friends doing it the first year, and it just seemed like they were having a fun time, and I felt bad about not being included, even though I didn't really have any reason to be included because I hadn't really directed it yet. But after doing Cheap Thrills, I was like, all right, maybe I can take advantage of this and try to get in on it. So, yeah.
So your letter A. Can you tell us what the A stands for?
Not yet.
Why?
Maybe
I think you can.
All right. It stands for amateur, and it's about an amateur assassin.
So, what's your favorite kill scene in any horror film?
My favorite kill scene in any horror film. Well, like, it's funny because it's like one of my favorite kill scenes is not in a horror film. It's in Wild at Heart, the David Lynch movie, and it's when Willem Dafoe gets shot, falls down, and then blows his own brains off with a shotgun. So it's not really a horror movie, but it's just one of my, like, the accidental quality of it is so great. Like, I love it when something bad happens in a sloppy way. It doesn't feel as, like, planned out. It's just kind of stupid. So that, that one amuses me.
Concept, and it's flattering to be even considered to be part of this upper crust of horror, so it's a blessing.
It's like a giant sampler appetizer dish of the best around the world, and to even be included in the extreme talent in this, they're like, oh my god, I must be doing something right that I'm actually here.
I'm such a fangirl that when I saw the other directors, I was like, oh my god, Sion Sono? Oh my god, he's one of my favorite directors. Or Steve Kostansky from Astron 6, or the directors of Rabies, or I could just go on. I want to see mine, but I've seen it, but I want to see everybody else's so badly.
Can you tell us like what letter you are and what the letter stands for?
Yes, we are T is for torture porn.
Interesting. Well, if you guys could do any other letter, what would you do? Or like if you get to
You know, torture porn was close to our heart for a very long time. It's probably because we watch too much hentai and porn, so it's all we can think about, so we had to get it out of our system before we could move on to any other material to do with alphabets.
True story.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite kill scene in any movie?
Mine would be in Suicide Club. At the very beginning, all the school children hold their hands and they jump in front of a subway cart and all the blood and guts. I had never seen a kill like that before. And honestly, it made me kind of jealous that I didn't direct that movie. I was like, that's such a good concept.
Oh, probably that remaining scene in Jaws where he just slides right into the shark's mouth, like right off the boat. It reminds me of how I eat oysters. It's great.
The big car accident in Death Proof Tarantino with Hold Tight playing, and how they do the reverse on each girl. It's just so brutal.
It is the most crazy thing you will ever see. All the directors involved are sick in the head. And if this was 100 years in the past, we'd all be in padded rooms. But luckily, you get to see our psychosis on the screen.
It's absolute the best directors and the best filmmakers working in horror right now. It's such a smorgasbord of talent. And if you love film and if you love horror, you want to see all the talent that is in this film.
Yeah. There's no other way to get a window, like a 5-minute window into so many people's brains all at the same time, but that's basically what this is. And it's just like, you might not like what's in the window, but you're going to watch it and you'll be entertained.
Man, oh man, I cannot wait to go trick-or-treating tonight.
But tomorrow is Halloween.
As far as I'm concerned, the show is over and it's time for me to head to Halloween Town.
Your logic is flawed, but since it's a holiday, I'll give it to you this time.
Happy Halloween, sneak peekers.
See you next week.